we're 12-5. I feel like we've had a pretty good start to the year. If we're halfway through the year, a little bit further than halfway, I can't really complain about where we stand, especially RPI wise, and the fact you got a puncher's chance to do this thing is a good thing.
So now you got Purdue coming up tomorrow night. Obviously, the same losses that you guys have had and the same win that you guys have had in the Big Ten. So similar teams in that way, but a lot of talent on that team as well. What challenges are they going to present tomorrow night?
Well, I think maybe the big difference is I think they're a legit top 20 team, so they might be disappointed with the record more than we are still trying to develop. But obviously it's a really good program. They've had a ton of success for a long time, and they've got some great young players, good mix of veteran players and young players that are having a great year. And just like us, I think every Big Ten match you look at it in its own bubble. So most of our prep this week has been about Wednesday, and I'm sure they've done the same.
What are you looking at on Purdue player-wise, game plan-wise, that you guys are trying to prepare for?
Well, I think they're always a really good serve and pass team. What they train really well. I think they've got a great coaching staff and people who know what they're doing. They recruit really well. They bring in really talented kids. So, it starts and ends there in a lot of ways, because if they have the serving success like they can and they control the ball like they can, they're awfully dangerous. But that being said, they're physical. I think their setter does a great job. I think their rotation of left side players are all really good. Cleveland's having a big year as an opposite, kind of replacing Sheridan Atkinson from last year. And Sheridan's a phenomenal player, but the Cleveland kid can play, and she's really, really good. And then they've got kind of a three middle mix depending on the health of Blake Moeller, and Blake's one of the better middles in the country. When she's healthy and rolling, she gets hers. So it's a complete top to bottom roster. They have depth. They've got really good players, and certainly a challenge.
Have you learned anything new about your team in the 4 Big Ten matches so far?
I've probably learned that we're not a top 10 team, but I think we got a group that competes. I think we've got depth, so we're able to do a whole bunch of different stuff, which I think is great. And I think we're getting better as the year goes on. They're learning. I preach it all the time. They've got to be in an every dare. They got to do stuff all the time. They got to know the film. They got to take care of their bodies. They have to really embrace the fact that a lot of teams at this point in the year, some teams are 4-11, 4-12. So the year's kind of done. We're on the opposite side of that. I think we need to go out and find some wins and hunt down some wins. And you should be excited and energized every day because you're in a situation that's really positive. The players are getting better. I think the system's getting better. So there should be a lot of excitement around the program right now.
Has Hayden's status changed at all in the last couple of days?
Yeah, we hope that she's available. The good news is with Kari, with Megan, with Hayden, with Kendall, with most of the kids that we have on the pen. These are veteran, experienced kids, and whatever lineup we decide to go to or whatever system we decide to go to, I think we can do our best to, mitigate it based on what we want to do.
Indiana has been Purdue in volleyball since 2012. How important is tomorrow's game for the trajectory of this program?
Not very. I think I think the fans and the people in the state are going to look at it one thing, and I'm looking at it as another. I stay away from all the nonsense. I think my job when I got here is help the program get better, take a step forward, recruit well, train, develop. For us it's a match. We'll play a good team. Then we have to play Illinois again on the road on Saturday. So it's. I'll let everyone else make a big deal about it. I don't think it's a guidepost. I think it's a top 20 team. They're really, really good. It's another opportunity to add to our resume, and that's really where it begins and ends. I understand the outsider's perception of what it's supposed to be and how important it is. It'll be a rivalry when we get good. It hasn't been a rivalry for a long time. They've won the match more often than not. And so I'm not worried about the weight of history or all the time. I wasn't here. I've been here 18 months. So for me, it's we went 5 twice last year. I thought it was a step in the right direction. We're going to compete like crazy on Wednesday, and we'll see how it goes.
And on paper, you and Purdue are very equal. You both, in Big Ten at least, have beat the same team, lost the same team. So what's it going to take to prove that you guys are the better team?
Well, I don't know. you can have a really good night and win and not be the better team, or you can have a terrible night and everyone will think we haven't arrived. It's not fair to put it in a vacuum like that. I think we've got some young kids at key positions, and we've got a bunch of kids on the roster who have been here a long time that haven't had success against Purdue. And I think a lot of people, as I was saying, a lot of people make a big deal out of it. For me, it's the next match on the Big Ten schedule. We'll play it and we'll do what we always do. I haven't changed preparation at all. There's no additional pressure for us. We're clearly the underdog. They're clearly a top 20 program, so we'll compete like crazy and see where the chips fall.
What is the atmosphere that you want to see at tomorrow's game, though? Because the students, the university will make a big deal,
Sure.
even if the team is not.
Yeah, no, the same as probably when we played Oklahoma at home, or the opening night match, and or our Northwestern win. It's I want it to be wild no matter who we're playing. So if it'll get some people out that might not come out usually, I think that's great. But again, for me, I'm a process guy. When we got here, they were averaging 350 or 400 people a home match. So now it's hard to get a ticket. I got people, I'm driving to work this morning, there's people knocking on the glass to try to get tickets to the match. Like, that's a pretty cool thing. So I think that's the next step. And then the next step is, as we get better as a program, as we get better as a team, people want to support winning programs. We're trying our best to get there. For me to say we've arrived, or after a Kentucky win or a Northwestern win or something, that's why there's no dancing in the locker rooms. That's why there's no huge bravado about how great we are. I've seen it when it looks really good. We're getting closer. I think that's the thing is we're not going to go from A to Z. It's going to be A to B, B to C, C to D, and that's all I worry about. And I think we've got a great game plan for Wednesday. I think if we're healthy, like every other team, if you're healthy, you got a shot. And I know that everyone in the program's been working hard, but we're going to do the same going into Illinois and the same the following week. And you get to take your foot off the gas somewhere in December. Hopefully you play deep into December, and if not, that's when you can relax. But for us, we do the same thing every single day.
Have you seen a little bit from the upperclassmen being able to balance that of not worrying about playing Purdue tomorrow, but instead just think about another big game?
Yeah, I haven't had any of the kids, specifically the upperclassmen. It's not been something that's been front and center. I mean, I haven't had a conversation with any of them. We've been through scouting reports. We've talked about what we're trying to do, what we'd like to do, but there's no heightened sense of. I think it comes back to, it's not a rivalry until we get there. Until we can win some matches and really become competitive. I don't want to make it a bigger deal than what it is. It's a really good team. It's going to take a huge effort to beat them, but I'd say the same about most of the Big Ten. So I think we're focused. I think we're loose. I think we're excited. But I don't think there's any weight of it. I think it's just an opportunity to play a great team at home. Cool.
Good.
Thanks, guys.